The strength of nation derives from the integrity of the home.
Hi, I'm Diana. Today I'm going to discuss the moral agent, developing virtues as habit. Developing virtues as habit is a concept that has been discussed in philosophy for centuries, with the aim of helping individuals to become better version of themselves. It is believed that virtues are developed through practice and repetition just like any other habits. Virtues such as honesty, kindness, and perseverance are not innate qualities, but rather they are learned and cultivated over time. Developing virtues requires a conscious effort to constantly act in a way that aligns with these virtues until they become second nature. In this report, we will explore the concept of developing virtues as habits, its benefits, and practical ways in which a person can incorporate their daily lives.
First, let us discuss moral character and virtues. Character is derived from the Greek word character, which was initially used as marked impressed upon a coin. Then later came to mean a distinct mark by which one thing was distinguished from others, and then chiefly to mean the dissemblage of qualities that distinguish one person from another. For example, when thinking of person's peculiar mannerism, social gestures, or habits of dress, we might say that he has personality or that he is quite a character. Going back to the linguistic history of the word character in ethical use, the Greek philosopher Aristotle tells us that there are two distinct of human excellence, according to the Book 2 of Nicomachean Ethics, which are the excellence of thought and excellence of character. His phrase for excellence of mortal character, ethikai aratai, which often translated as moral virtues and moral excellence. The Greek ethikos or ethical is the adjective cognate with ethos or character. So when we talk of virtue or an excellence or moral character, the highlighting is not a mere distinctiveness or individuality, but on the blend of qualities that makes a person the sort of ethically admirable individual he or she is. Therefore, in philosophical sense, moral character refers to having or lacking of moral virtue.
To simply say, moral character and virtues are closely related. A person with strong moral character is likely to possess virtues such as honesty, fairness, and compassion. Virtues are essential for developing strong moral character, and they help people to believe in ways that are consistent with their moral beliefs and values. In turn, a strong moral character enables people to live fulfilling life and contribute positively to society.
Now, let's proceed to the circular relation of acts and character. The circular relationship of acts and characters refers to the idea that our actions and behavior are not just determined by our character, but our character is also shaped by our actions and behaviors. This means that our personality traits and values influence our choices and actions, but our actions and experience are also shaped by our personality and character over time. For example, if someone constantly acts with kindness and generosity, it can reinforce and strengthen their compassionate and empathetic character traits. Similarly, if someone constantly acts with dishonesty and selfishness, it can erode their integrity and make it more difficult for them to act honestly in the future. On the other hand, our character can also influence the choices we make and the actions we take. If someone values honesty and integrity, they are more likely to act in accordance with those values, even in the situation where it may be difficult or inconvenient. Conversely, if someone values personal gain above all else, they may be more likely to engage in unethical or immoral behavior in order to achieve their goals.
Thus, the relationship between character and action is not one-directional, but rather a continuous cycle where actions shape our character, which in return influence our future actions. This cycle can be positive or negative, depending on the values and behaviors we prioritize in our life.
Moving on to the next subtopics, we have Jeter Burdon to discuss the moral character as disposition and the 6 stages of moral development.
Good morning everyone, my topic for today is all about moral character as disposition. The moral character traits that constitute a person's moral character are characteristically understood as behavioral and affected disposition. Generally speaking, disposition are particular kinds of properties or characteristic that objects can express in the physical world. So, it means the concept of character can express a variety of attributes, including the presence or lack of virtues, such as empathy, courage, fortitude, honesty, and loyalty, or of good behaviors or habits. These attributes are also a part of one's self-esteem. Among human beings, moral character traits, either virtues or vice, are also considered as disposition. Moral character traits are those dispositions of character for which it is suitable to hold agents. Morally responsible, a moral character trait for which a person is deserving of a positive, reactive attitude, such as praise or gratitude, is a virtue. So it means the virtues in vice that comprise one moral character are typically understood as disposition to behave in certain ways, in certain sorts of circumstance. For instance, an honest person is disposed to telling the truth when asked. These dispositions are typically understood or relatively stable and long-term. In other words, a good moral character is practically a disposition to do virtuous acts. Oppositely, a bad moral character is in affect and disposition to do because that's it means. So the moral character can be conceptualized as an individual's disposition to think, feel, and behave in an ethical versus unethical manner, or as the subset of individual differences relevant to morality. So the moral character as disposition. So we proceed our next topic, the sixth stage of moral development. The American psychologist Lawrence Goldberg, 1927, is best known for his theory of stage of moral development. In principle, he agreed with the Swiss clinical psychologist Jean Piaget's 1896-1980 theory of moral development, but wanted to develop his ideas further.
To explain further, here is a video clip from Crystal Love explaining the moral theory of Kohlberg.
So today we're looking at Kohlberg and his moral development theory. So Kohlberg's moral development theory postulates that the moral and cognitive development actually parallel one another, and he outlines 6 stages of development. He says that persons must successfully pass through each stage before going on to that other stage, and higher stages actually provide us with greater capacity to handle complex dilemmas. During the first stage in pre-conventional stage 1 and 2, that's at the elementary age to 9 years of age, the child obeys authority out of fear of punishment. So it's really obedience and punishment that the child's thinking about. Also, the child acts acceptable because it's in their best interest. What do they get out of it? They're trying to get rewards. Second level, conventional, 3 and 4 stages. This is during early adolescence. They act to gain approval from others. They want to be seen as the good boy or the good girl. Also, obeys laws and fulfills duties to maintain the social systems. Wants to avoid guilt. Third level, post-conventional. These are adults. It's the 5th and 6th stage, and many people do not advance to this stage. This is on the 5th stage. You have a genuine interest in the welfare of others. You're concerned with individual rights and the morality that's right for everyone. You're guided by individual principles based on broad universal ethical principles.
Getting to the highest level, conscience-based moral decision. In ethics, moral agents are individuals who have the capacity to make moral judgments and act accordingly. Making conscience-based moral decision is the highest level of moral decision-making because it involves using one's own conscience to determine what is right and wrong.
To reach this level, one must first have strong understanding of the various ethical theories and principles that exist. This includes familiarizing oneself with concepts such as utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, and care ethics. Additionally, it is important to develop critical thinking skills to be able to analyze complex situations and identify potential ethical dilemmas. To sum up, reaching the highest level of conscience-based moral decision-making involves a deep understanding of ethical theory, the cultivation of empathy and self-awareness, and the commitment to acting in accordance with one's own moral values and beliefs. Kohlberg's theory of moral development and Piaget's theory of cognitive development are two closely related theories that describe how children develop their moral reasoning and judgment. Kohlberg theory builds upon Piaget's work, and together they provide a comprehensive framework for understanding moral development. Kohlberg's theory of moral development proposes 6 stages of moral reasoning, which are divided into 3 levels, namely pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. Piaget's theory of cognitive development describes 4 stages of cognitive development that children pass through as they develop their thinking abilities. In line to this topic, here are the 6 stages of Kohlberg's theory and their corresponding stages in Piaget's theory. First, we have Stage 1, respect for power and punishment, under the pre-conventional level. This stage is characterized by a focus on avoiding punishment and obeying authority. The children at this stage have a limited understanding of the consequences of their action and base their moral judgment on whether an action is punished or rewarded. In Piaget's theory, this stage is associated with the sensory motor stage, where children learn about their environment through their senses and motor activities. Next in line, we have Stage 2, looking out for number 1, under also in pre-conventional level. In this stage, children understand that different people have different needs and that their own needs may conflict with those of others. They view morality as a matter of self-interest and reciprocity and may engage in bargaining and negotiation. This stage is also associated with pre-operational stage in Piaget's theory, where children develop the ability to use symbols and language to represent objects and ideas. Next, we have Stage 3, good boy or nice girl, under in conventional level. At this stage, children begin to value social approval and want to be seen as good and responsible member of the society. They adopt the values and beliefs of their social group and may conform to social norms and expectation. This stage is associated with concrete operational stage in Piaget's theory, where children begin to understand logical operations and the conservation of physical properties. Next, we have Stage 4, law and order thinking, under also in conventional level. In this stage, individuals uphold the law and social order and value obedience to authority. They understand that society needs a social contract and that law exists to maintain social order. This stage is associated with formal operational stage in Piaget's theory, where children develop abstract thinking and can reason logically about hypothetical situations. Next, we have Stage 5, justice through democracy, under the post-conventional level. Individuals at this stage recognize that laws are not absolute and that they can be changed to improve society. They value the principle of justice, equality, and human rights and believe that law should reflect these values. This stage is associated with formal operational stage in Piaget's theory. Lastly, we have Stage 6, deciding on basic moral principles by which you will live your life and relate to everyone fairly, under also in post-conventional level. At this stage, individuals have developed their own principles of morality, which are based on universal human rights and ethical principles. They are willing to disobey laws that violate these principles and may take action to charge unjust laws. This stage is associated with formal operational stage in Piaget's theory.
In conclusion, Kohlberg's theory and Piaget's theory provide a useful framework for understanding the complex process of moral development in children and adolescents. By recognizing the interconnectedness of cognitive and moral development, we can better support young people in developing their moral reasoning and ethical decision-making skills.
And for our last topic, we have the problems with Kohlberg's theory. While Kohlberg's theory has been influential in the field of moral development, it is not without its criticism. One major criticism is that the theory is culturally biased. Kohlberg's research was conducted primarily with middle-class males in the United States, and as a result, his theory may not be applicable in cultural or socio-economic backgrounds. Research has shown that individuals from Western culture may prioritize values and virtues differently and therefore may not fit neatly into Kohlberg's stages of moral development. Another criticism is that Kohlberg's theory may not account for the influence of emotion on moral reasoning. Emotions such as empathy and compassion may not play a significant role in guiding moral decisions, yet Kohlberg's theory focuses solely on cognitive processes.
Additionally, some researchers have questioned the validity and reliability of Kohlberg's methodology, which relied heavily on hypothetical moral dilemmas presented to participants. Critics argue that these dilemmas are not accurately reflect real-world moral decision-making and therefore may not be valid measure of moral reasoning. Overall, while Kohlberg theory has contributed significantly to our understanding of moral development, it is important to recognize its limitations and consider alternative theories that address the criticism of his work.
And that's all about moral agent developing virtues as habits. Thank you for listening. I hope you gain knowledge about our report. Have a pleasant day ahead. Bye!